This is the DMT One-to-One Show, episode 34 on the 7th of November 2013, an interview with Caroline Bottomley, Managing Director of Radar Music Videos. Hello everyone and welcome to the DMT One-to-One Show, and this week it's an absolute pleasure to welcome Caroline Bottomley, Managing Director of Radar Music Videos. So hi Caroline, and great to have you on. How's it going?
It's going very well, thank you. Thank you for having me on.
It's great to have you. And so today we're going to talk about Radar, of course, and what you guys do. So for first thing, what is Radar and what does the company do in a nutshell?
Okay, so we're a network of over 9,000 music video directors, and we connect labels and artists to these directors. We specialise in finding directors who will work on budgets between £500 and £5,000.
Right.
And yeah, we're a connection service.
Great, that's awesome. And so how did you start out, when did you start out with the company?
It started in 2007. I come from a live promotion background. I used to work at a club in Sheffield called Leadmill, and I worked in music promotion for a long time. Then I worked in TV in London for a long time after that, and always wanted to set up a business, and Radar came to life in 2007, but it was a very different thing back then. It was the idea was that directors would make music videos on spec, and then the best videos would win. They would win either £1,000 or they get to make the next music video for whichever label was involved, which was Warp and Domino at the time.
Absolutely.
And that business model ran for a couple of years. We had a festival at the iTunes store, the Apple store on Regent Street. It was very exciting. But it's not a model that directors like very much, or not a model that directors who are on their career progression like very much, because it's very wasteful and it's very risky. Of
course. I mean, it's a bit like when advertising agencies ask for pitches from music production companies, and a producer has to decide whether to devote that entire day to do a piece of music that might not get chosen. So
absolutely the same. Yeah, so we swapped it into a pitching system rather than making on spec system. Right. In 2009, and fiddled around with the business model for a year or 18 months, and then Radar proper started operating in towards the end of 2010, 2011.
That's great. And so looking at let's start by looking at some of the success stories you've had, for example, of videos that might have been produced for a relatively small budget and actually went on to do really well. So anybody that comes to mind first thing?
Well, the most successful one that's ever been made through Radar was for Alt-J's Breeze Blocks. In fact, just commissioned a guy over in New York, and he made a film over there with a couple of actors in an apartment. It was £4,000, and which is a big budget on Radar, so they had a lot of interest for that. But they went with this guy Ellis Ball, who was a relatively new director, and it's past 18 million views on YouTube. Wow. And it's still going strong. And Ellis has since been signed by two of the best production companies in the US and over here in the UK. So he's really happy, and he doesn't make videos for £4,000 anymore.
I'm sure. And so essentially, like what I'm seeing here is a cycle of not only helping bands that need a video, create a band on a budget, but also helping directors that are looking for a break, get that break and make a bit of money in the process, right?
Absolutely. We aim for a really specific sector of that market, which is graduates who have made videos for their friends, but don't have contacts in the music industry. So they've got a bit of reel behind them, but they need to really get started in the industry. And commercials directors who got a great career history behind them, but they don't have contacts in the music industry. Right. So people are coming to us basically to connect. Once we will promote those videos that they make to the creative press and try and help them move further up their career path. So by the time they join their production company, that's when we lose them, because they don't need us to find work anymore. So we try to get people from here over to here. That's and we great. Try to keep them going.
So that's fantastic. And looking at, a big question that people are asking all the time these days, and I've actually moderated a panel about 3 weeks ago in Dublin about this very subject, is the monetization of videos. And so people talking about videos moving from being a promotional vehicle to being a potential source of income. And at the same time, on the other side of the plate, I guess, is thinking about budgets and thinking about whether there is the potential to make that money back, even if you don't have a completely viral hit, essentially. So how do you see bands approaching videos today? Are they looking at them in a different light than they did maybe 3 or 4 years ago, thanks to the potential incomes that are coming from the likes of YouTube? Or are they still very much seen as a promotional vehicle for the independent sector right now?
I think some really interesting things are happening around that, as you are saying. One thing is a lot of labels that we talk to say 500 to 5,000 is our sweet spot. That's where we want to commission. That's the budget that we use. So a lot of people are in that area. However, one of the other things that I do is I'm a judge for the UK Music Video Awards. And when you do that, you're in a room with 10, 15 other people in the music video industry, most of whom are with production companies. So they're working on really big budget stuff. And the word from them is that budgets are going up as far as they're concerned. So because on the whole, production companies don't want to work with music video budgets below £5,000. So they're going up. However, last weekend at ADE, Amsterdam Dance Event, I met a very well-established UK label who said they're actually thinking of stopping doing music videos at all because they're too expensive. Even low-budget ones are too expensive.
That's interesting.
So, yeah.
It's kind of it's a weird market. I guess it feels like quite polarized in a sense, because it feels like artists that are at the top end of the scale with the big labels, or that have had major breakthroughs with independents, they are able to recoup all those costs and much more if they get 10, 15, 20 million views. That translates in quite a bit of revenue actually from the video side, even if they don't pay very much. Whilst if you're on the independent scale, even if you have a few 100,000 views, if you have invested £5,000, you might only just probably break even with the costs. And so it's a very interesting vertical, I think, that we find ourselves in. But then again, without the video, people don't appear to be engaging with the song as much, and so that's another thing to take into account, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was when the guy said we're thinking of not doing them. It's wow, but everybody's doing them because YouTube is where you go to listen to music. But anyway, it'll be interesting to see whether he follows through with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what he said.
And looking at the video market, do you also get asked to do you get commissions for lyric videos? That's something that's quite interesting right now, because people are trying to do lyric videos to save some money and also trying to go to market as soon as the single comes out, but they also want to do interesting lyric videos that are appealing to their audience. So do you find that people are coming to a company like yourselves to try and commission an interesting lyric video as well?
Yes, absolutely we do. Some labels are for them and really like them and use them, as you say, to get to market quickly with something very low cost and interesting. We got a Jessie J, a brief for a Jessie J commission about 6 weeks ago, and they wanted that really, really quickly, but a guy, coincidentally, again in America, an animator, pulled all the stops out and did one for her, which was done really well.
Looking at how you are, planning to evolve with the company as well. So, of course, it's a volume business. So, of course, the more videos that get commissioned through Radar, the better it is. And so, what's your strategy? Do you see a lot of people coming from international markets? And if not, are you thinking about doing more work on that front as well?
Yes, we are focusing on building our business in the US, particularly. Because that's such a huge market. And yeah, so we're some way along that line, but very much at the beginning of that journey. UKTI is helping us to develop develop projects over there. I'm beginning to go to more conferences over there. I'm beginning to talk to people about becoming an agent for Radar over there so that we can have people on the ground. I gather that American people like doing business with American people, so we're looking, having talked to American labels and bring that in. It's going to be interesting how far it can grow in this business model, because we can only take it so far, because labels, whilst they like having a good range of briefs to choose from.
Right.
At the moment, we're delivering on average between 5 and 15 pitches per brief, but labels aren't going to like it if they start getting 40 pitches per brief. So we're going to have to deal with that, and I'm not sure how we will do. I mean, we will do, but we're not there yet. But,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so. So I just want to give people that are listening, especially for labels that are listening, a taste of the process. So talk me through from, a label deciding that they want to commission a video, or an artist that has some budget as an independent want to commission a video through Radar. How does the process work, step by step?
So let's say Andrea Leonelli has £2,000 to put on the site. So you would go to Radar and you click on a button that says post a brief, and it would take you to a page that you'd fill out your name, your track title, what you're looking for. It can be anything from I'm open to ideas to we're looking for something wintry and scary, or something more specific than that. We recommend don't get too specific, but so you do that. You put on your budget, which you agree to pay. If you do commission, you agree to pay whoever you commission that budget. You put a SoundCloud link up or an MP3, a lyrics file, references to other videos that you like if you want to do that. You put up the date that you want all the pictures by. You put the date that you want the video delivering by, and then you press publish, and it goes live on the site. So there's no charge to labels and artists at all to use Radar. At no point do labels and artists have to pay for using Radar. So this has gone live on the site. And we send out an email to all of the 9,000 and odd directors that are on Radar, that are registered, saying this brief has just come on. If you're not a subscribing director, you can only see that it's £2,000, that it can be made anywhere in the world, and that the pitch deadline is 2 weeks on Monday. If you've subscribed, then you can get behind that paywall and you can see that it's you, that it's your track, you can listen to your track, and you can submit the pitch through the site. Right. So we make our money through director subscriptions. That's our business model.
Okay, anyway, great. So I wasn't sure whether you were taking a commission on the productions, but that's a subscription model. Great.
We tried that, but it didn't work. It's escrow is difficult, so we looked at that as an option. That is an expensive option. Taking a commission is kind of works, but you have to invoice people, you have to chase people for money, etc., etc. So we tried this and thought if the current model if it works, well, we'll stick with it, and it does, and it's enough to pay for us to keep growing. There's five people work for Radar as well as me, so. They're not all full time. There's we're growing and it's going well. But anyway, those pitches, they come to you by email.
Yeah.
You can read them all, or you can read them on your account on Radar. You can click through to the director's profile, so you can see what other work they've done and their bio. You can shortlist through there. So if you don't like pitches and you know you don't like them, you can just press one button and it sends an email via the site saying, really sorry, not this time, blah, blah, blah. It's a nicely worded email, but it goes via the site. So you don't have people emailing you back and saying, but why not? But the people that you do shortlist, you press another button and it sends a get in touch email with your email address, so people can then contact you direct, at which point it's over to you. So you decide, but we're kind of out of the picture once we've hooked you up to people that you like.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds great, and it sounds like it's a really a service to to the music business and to producers that are using the site. So I really love the idea, and I understand why. For example, I was interviewing, as I mentioned to you earlier, Eric McKay from Vivo in Berlin a couple of months back, and he said of how much he loves Radar because they produce really great quality videos for independent artists that then can end up on Vivo and on platforms that only accept videos made to spec and that are that have a certain quality to them. So it's great that you're doing this. And so looking at the next 6 months or so, you were talking about a couple of a few panels that you've been organizing recently, and also South by Southwest. You're going to be there as well. So if anybody that's listening to the show right now is going to be at South by Southwest, they can get in touch with you and perhaps get a meeting whilst you're over in Austin. So what are you going to be talking about over there?
We're going to be talking about using channels on YouTube to best effect. So we're going to have, it's going to be very exciting actually. So there's Patrick Walker from Base 79, and Patrick Walker has come from YouTube.
Of course.
He now works with so we're going to be talking about hooking up with them to promote your videos on YouTube. We've got Zach Vibert from Hospital, who unusually, Hospital have decided not to go with a multi-channel network, and they're doing it all in-house, and they've got their own YouTube certification and so on. So Zach's going to be talking about doing it in-house and why they've decided to do it in-house. And then we have Del Diaz, who runs AEI Media, which is part of looks after an umbrella of companies like Majestic Casual and UKF. And Del is very, very smart about video content. I mean, UKF have got a phenomenally huge amount of subscribers. So they are, like many dance labels, are very, very switched on about YouTube and how to use YouTube well. So we'll be talking to Del will be talking about managing across the channels that he has, but also looking at A&Ring, because they do a lot of A&Ring through their YouTube channels.
Totally, yeah. That sounds fun, and I'll definitely earmark that as one of the panels to go to in March. That's great. Well, Caroline, it was an absolute pleasure having you on, and I would recommend people to go and check out the website. So go on radarmusicvideos.com, and you'll find all the information about the site. You can also watch some of the videos that have been produced by the platform, so you can get a sense of the incredible quality of the videos that are produced through with Radar's help, and definitely a company to keep in mind if you are thinking about commissioning a video on a relatively small budget. Thanks so much, Caroline. It was a pleasure having you on.
Thank you.
And thanks so much for listening. The DMT 1-to-1 goes out every week, and you can also check out the weekly news show all on digitalmusictrends.com, or follow us on Twitter on @DigiMusicTrends. Have a great week, and until next time. Thanks for listening to the DMT 1-to-1 show, and remember to check out digitalmusictrends.com for our weekly news show.